Thank you guys for tuning in for another interview with King Solomon Entertainment and Hollywood Now. Another interview, wonderful, wonderful guest today. We would thank our sponsors. We could not do what we do without our sponsors and our partners. We want to thank Heart to Heart for You.org, Hill to Hill, USC Black Alumni Association, the More Than Greenwood Foundation, as well as Dr. Marlon Hester Pioneer Credit. If you're looking to get your credit restored, as well as to find out the importance of credit, please reach out to Dr. Marlon Hester Sr. Let them know you heard about it on the King Solomon Entertainment platform, as well as our other sponsors. Let them know you heard about it here, and they'll give you the King Solomon discount. Thank you guys so much. And if you yourself interested in partnering with us and sponsoring with us, please reach out to King Solomon Entertainment.tv, and we'll let you know how to connect and do just that. We also want to thank all of our submissions for the King Solomon monologue. If you are an actor, please submit your 60-second monologue to KingSolomonEntertainment.tv as well. And we're going to be putting you before a star panelist of Hollywood Insider to give you constructive criticism on your talent. So please submit that because it's a deadline coming up. We want to also thank everyone who has commented, subscribed, and also who has pretty much been following us and spreading the wonderful content that we're trying to get out here on King Solomon Entertainment. So please, if you have not subscribed, please share this video and subscribe. We are on all platforms as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as YouTube. James Clayton Interviews, everywhere else, King Solomon Entertainment Company. And if you want to help us directly, we are on Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, and Zelle, King Solomon Entertainment. And we want to get started with another Hollywood Now wonderful interview. We have producer, artist, songwriter, Kevin McCall. So we thank him so much for being here. You know his songs, every song from Deuces to Strip. One of my favorites, No, I Can't Curse, No BS, one of my absolute favorites, as well as so many others, even for Carrie Hilson as well. He wrote a song for, and we just want to thank him so much for doing this platform. Please introduce yourself, Mr. Kevin McCall. Go ahead, sir.
How you doing, everybody? It's Kevin McCall, K-Mac, and from my work in the past. First of all, I just want to say it's a pleasure to be to fellowship amongst great people. And your platform is great. I'm a fan of it myself. So
thank you. Thank you.
I'm here.
Thank you so much. So let's get into it. So how did it all start? Where did you know you wanted to do entertainment? You was an artist. Where did it all start for you?
You got to take it all the way back to my grandmother. It all started with my grandmother. Funny because a lot of the greats that I look up to, they were raised in the Jehovah's Witness home. My grandmother was a Jehovah's Witness. And I know Michael Jackson was raised like that. So I found that interesting because my family is very musical, very talented. And all my uncles and my aunts sing, you know. They ended up teaching one of my uncles in a group called Bloodstone. And I know you know Bloodstone. They sang a song, Take to the Sky, Natural High.
Yeah.
Gotta pay for the do a little sample, but that was my blood uncle, and that's who raised them. I actually knew him before my father.
Wow.
I didn't know my father until I was like 6 years old. So my first male that was ever in my life, he taught me.
Wow. And so you are a Los Angeles native in the Watts area, and I always ask the LA natives who grew up right here in Hollywood and how it influenced you differently. Like, what was that like? Was it always something even before your family was already in it, was in your blood? But what was it like as far as the culture growing up here in LA? Did you always like, because it's so accessible here, did you always get influenced by it from day one as long as you can remember?
It's so many. That's a great question. One of the things I want to go back to my grandmother. I feel like people in LA, other artists and other people in entertainment, they have to take a plane to get to Hollywood, and we just have to take a train. So I think that's a blessing. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like my grandmother, if you take it back to her, she's from Utah. So for her to make the pilgrimage from Utah to Los Angeles, she already did half the battle for me. Because imagine me having to grow up in Utah and put up with CB
Right,
coming,
right. I know.
or unrealistic.
Yeah.
So I feel like, just standing on the shoulders of giants, the people who came before me, my mom and my dad. My dad is from Compton, and my mother is who's from she hates when you say Watts, because it's not Watts, it's South Los Angeles.
South Los Angeles.
Used to live in the projects. So that's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
she likes skating. And I
Yeah.
always, I grew up being a Tyrese fan. Watts.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
My mom moved me from outside of that neighborhood to a better neighborhood. First it was Hawthorne, then I had to move back into the neighborhood where Tyrese was at. I love that because I grew up being able to watch him in talent shows and stuff. And then he was on
Yeah.
a Coca-Cola commercial. And this is a kid coming out of the Watts area.
Yeah.
I'm visiting there from Hawthorne and then sometimes Gardena in my later years. So I started watching as I got older, watch claim. But really,
Okay.
I'm not necessarily Watts. I have family members live in the Nixon projects right now. Family members live in Jordan Downs, which is,
Yeah.
know anything about LA, that's cousins
Yeah.
from
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
two gangs in Watts that have the biggest beef. But that's also might be a design of God, because if I have family members in both of this, I see what he was trying to do. He was trying to bring peace amongst in a place that's got so much talent. It's a gumbo, a melting pot. People don't know Watts used to be a jazz capital.
Yeah. 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 So much culture. So much culture. And the fact that you have family, it gives you access. Because all you gotta say, I'm Big Bo cousin. You good. So,
That's huge, man. And I think that's what really gave me a start in this.
yeah. Yeah.
Even when I went astray, right? I want to talk about that. I want to talk about guys. So like, I don't know if you remember, it was a time when R&B dudes act like gangbangers
Mm,
that much. You had like
right.
Ray, you
Yeah.
you he from Carson, which is another place where I grew up. Shout out to
Yeah.
Ray.
Yeah.
I remember a time where we was chivalry. They said chivalry was dead, so we was trying to prove that wrong. We was trying to prove that, it's guys out here who will cry on you, keep sweat, you know.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
straight for that, straight from that. I don't know what the cause would be. I honestly think it was programmed. They were programming us. You got to think, singers before us, we didn't grow up on Tupac.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Bobby Brown didn't grow up on Tupac. If he did, he probably would have had tattoos and all. So when you see someone like, the only person I could think of is CB. You see a person like that, yeah, he's influenced by rappers as well. So then you come into the era of music where the streets is kind of getting intertwined with the music. So me being a dude that came from the city but set apart from it, I was a street dude, but I never been wasn't street savvy or nothing. I just was
Right. Right. Right.
from. So then when I got into Hollywood, and you still had the lingerings of, the Suge Knight mentality type people who
Mm,
were going in there with the gang, Bogart and stuff. You still had remnants of that, and I was like, how do I do this? I'm not a gangbanger, but I don't know what to
yeah.
do. But I'm not a punk. So I was like, well, let me tap back in with the streets, like people like me. Maybe I need to just be seen more, and I need to give guys more opportunities to transfer they talents, or they the thing is, it's bad getting them in trouble into something good. Be my security, and I could
Yeah.
never get it to work out right. You want to know why? Because I'm not a street dude, and I didn't really know how to read the street mentality and how they think. I have a better understanding now, and that's why I stay away.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in that time in the music, I had started trying to figure something, and it almost ended up. We'll get into that later, though.
Wow. So take us now to your big break. What was your big break in the industry?
I would say my big break would have to be. I say the story different every time because you get a better understanding. I feel like my fraternity had a lot to do with my success, and my fraternity that I was a part of was Omega Psi Phi.
Okay.
And I say was because I have different. So I'm still with the brotherhood, but I'm not active because of my.
Okay.
But I
Yeah.
believe in brotherhood, and I don't believe that I should just throw away all the relationships I built. But I actually
Yeah.
rock with all frat, all
Okay.
sororities. I rock with black. Talk wealthy to me. So I think when I did songs for my frat, I was traveling and stuff with that. And starting knowing my name. Still to this day, some people who join on Spotify, they that song that I learned that I put on YouTube.
Mm.
And like from those YouTube hits that people will start seeing, people wasn't even in frat.
Right.
One of my daughters, my oldest daughter, one of her favorite songs by me is called "Tell Me Why." It's a play we sing, and it just gets you through tough nights, tough times.
Wow.
And it's like a Negro spiritual, and that's what I like from my frat. I learned all that boldness. Like a lot of people thought I was a gangbanger, but they don't know what I was really tapping into was that Q dog. That you ain't gonna take nothing from me. You ain't gonna punking my woman. People would try to be punking my child's mom and stuff, and that's when I started getting bad in the industry for fighting and stuff. But I was really tapping into being able to protect myself, being militant, like the Black Panthers and like my fraternity. I give a lot of big ups to Make Us High Five because the whole process they told me I could get through anything. I thought the hardest thing I ever went through was a rape case in college, my
Mm.
sophomore year. And if that wouldn't have went, you know, that wouldn't have turned out in my favor. I wouldn't have been able to pledge. I wouldn't have been able to play football or graduate. Praise God, me and her came to a conclusion and we worked it out. But I thought that was the worst. I
Now,
literally,
now with college ball, did you have admiration to go pro?
I did until after that incident.
Ah,
So after the rape incident happened, coaches wasn't playing for a while.
gotcha.
But praise God, I got a coach. And I'm gonna tell you something people don't know. You ain't gonna believe me. This is crazy. I did not understand the concept. I don't like sports, right? I like to play. I like just like kids like to go play on. I like that. I like to watch sports and keep up with scores. The Final Four. I don't care. So I kind of played football until my last year of college, Washington State. I got a football scholarship, full ride, everything,
Wow.
and I didn't even understand what I was doing. I was just going off natural ability and just hoping I was doing something right. I knew common sense like, run that way, but other than that, I didn't get the game of it. you
Okay.
know. And I think that me explaining that just explains a lot about my emotional intelligence, how I learned some things late, you know. Uh, but I did want to play, but I didn't really understand football,
Yeah,
till
but
the last 2 years.
it's interesting
Also,
how
that
like
that
life.
incident, um, being able to really, it reminded me of the industry a lot, right? It
Yeah.
was like because of that, the rumor, they wouldn't allow me to really do what I could do, so I felt like they stopped my ability to get to the NFL and rank as high as I could and have the stats that I could have had.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
what's crazy about that? If you know anything about my father, Kevin McCall Sr., he was my head football coach my whole life, from 6 years old all the way to high school.
Wow.
We had 6 running backs at my high school, and we were all good. My dad purposely wouldn't start me in football games, no matter what coaches were in there, different colleges, USC, Oregon. Like, oh, if I don't get these stats, what's gonna happen? He
Yeah.
would purposely not play to the second half,
Mm.
so that people wouldn't say there's favoritism.
Mm.
And he also was teaching me how to deal with adversity. And instead of being the only guy out there who got a scholarship,
Mm.
so my dad taught me how to deal with the adversity. I don't know how, but I just thank Dad for teaching me that. It helped me get stuff because I would have wanted to just kill myself if I put all my eggs into football and then they took that. So when they took football from me, I said, music is going to work, and I'm going to make everybody regret, the years that time period when they thought I did it, and then after everyone knew that you still wouldn't have let me do college to, pursue.
Yeah,
So
no, it's wonderful how you able to, especially in sportsmanship and the athletic arena, you able to transfer those skills to other areas of your life because it's all centered around discipline. And so, if you can really push through and persevere through that type of regimen and adversity, you can just transfer it into the other challenges of other industries. So I really think that was a great foundation to you going into the music industry and you being a multifaceted artist, you production, singing, songwriting, as well as producing. I mean, to even like, how do you even stay focused doing so many things and doing it well? You know what I'm saying? So that's a really testament of that type of perseverance, tenacity you learned as a kid. And so, how do you focus? Like, how do you transition from being a producer, being an artist, and being a songwriter? How is that transition works for you?
I think the last time that I exhibited a great deal of focus was, my last project I put out. I believe it was Definition, something like that. And after I had Marley, I wasn't really focused, didn't really understand how to get ideas out of my head. And in the process, kind of like I have, vision boards and stuff all around.
Oh wow, yeah,
I had someone show me that if you write the vision and make it plain, it'll make it alive. So this is something
absolutely,
that I'm implementing in my life, and it's probably the reason that this interview was able to happen. I wasn't in my own way, like in my own blessing. I'm trying, So I wasn't organized at any point in my career. This is my first time ever being organized. I used to have a manager, and God, I love him. One of my dogs, God bless CJ, but he worked full time Rising. So in my whole career, we never really got to see the best of me, and
yeah,
I like that because it was learning. Because now I want to manage.
yeah.
I had
No,
to.
no, that is like a universal message because I'm telling you, I learned that lesson myself because it's like I had to learn management skills as well. But guess what? I started with my own life, and so until I was able to manage my own life, then that's really where the foundation in that began because it really changed me. But I didn't get it at first until somebody told me, I think I met Derek Dudley, which is the cousin of JD. And So Def had a small label. He say, "Oh, I manage JD." I said, "Oh, JD, he's the manager. He don't need no manager. He always was hands on with his talent." I said, "He is the manager." He said, "No, but I manage his life. Like how I keep him on track. He got goals. He got personal aspirations. I keep him on track." And then it clicked. It registered for me. Like, wow, we all need time management. We all need
Yeah,
it. And so that really when I began to apply it and like that vision board and writing it down, I had the vision board and the to-do list. And I can remember when I moved one time and I unpacked the boxes and I found the old to-do list. And I was like, I accomplished everything that
cross
was
that.
on that list. I'm telling you, it was whew.
And that's a huge part of my healing. I'm in
Yeah.
counseling. I go to the Nest Counseling Center. It's a rabbi who counts, and this rabbi is street. Like,
Yeah.
I know we have all the stuff with Nick Cannon and the rabbi stuff going on, but my vision, he showed me it's all kind of,
Yeah.
and this dude really helps me. I'm getting a lot of this understanding and clarity and just, the victim stuff that I used to have. I'm not having it no more. And
Yeah.
I have a lady in my life who actually taught me this vision board stuff.
Yes.
So copying off of her, and it helps you take the stuff out of your mind,
Yeah.
put it somewhere where it can make. That's where a lot of my anxiety was for the past 4 years. Oh, this more six, past
Mm.
6 years, King Solomon. So past 6 years, I've been just all over, and I'm
So
finally right.
man, that's wonderful. We so excited for you, and I know it's going to be just continual success as you be organized and you begin to achieve one goal at a time. You're definitely going to get back, and that brings us to the next question as far as your new music. We hear you release a new song. Tell us about that journey. Tell us about how that came to happen. Like, what made you know it's time?
Right. I released a song called Grand Piano, um, and I was reluctant to release it because I release a lot of new stuff with my female, but I just wanted some closure to the whole, situation with my child's mother, stuff like that. So I explained kind of when I released it. Okay, the song just is about one day I left for church and I came to an empty house. my child gone, everything moved out. But the only thing that was left was a grand piano. And so, song, you know, I didn't make the song then. I was toe up, but I made a song about that. It's the emptiness, and I guess the theme I want people to get from it was not that I got done wrong or anything. What could I do in my next relationship to make sure I don't ever have to feel that? I don't ever want to be with just me and my piano. Like I don't want that feeling again. So I make sure I move correctly. You know.
Yeah, so because it's really it when we hate to say it, but that adversity, that hardship is that's when we make our best stuff. Like when we going through pain and hurt and stuff, and it's like almost like you don't want nobody to go through that, but it's like some of the best music is made in that regard, you know. So long as you're able to process it correctly and heal correctly, we know what is the alternative? Not live, not take risks, you know. So as long as we grow and become better as a result, you know, I guess it's worth it, right?
And a lot of people in this industry, we do take that other route that you said. People have killed themselves. And I
Yeah.
remember I talked with Tyrese. He was like, Kevin, the reason you're going crazy right now is because you built this whole reality full of props and stuff that for the world. Like you on stage and you build up this whole world for the world to see. Fell apart. You couldn't handle it because you saw the real world. You had cognitive dissonance. Tyrese is deep, and I couldn't handle it at the time. I was like, "Whoa!" I thought I was. I thought my success made me above the. You know, I really thought I was a star. You know, you got to remember, you still have urges. You still have to eat, go to the restroom. So you're human. People get lose touch of that. They want to do what you said.
Yeah. So let's talk about it, you know, because and see well, how much of a grip or how do you have on it? Let's talk about dealing with stardom. Like you have recognition, people know who you are. You still have to live your life. People think that because you are famous, you don't have a real life. You don't deal with real issues. Like, what is that transition like dealing with that? What has that been like dealing with the stardom? Like where you are now with it? You have a good process of it.
Personally, because first I would like to give advice to upcoming artists. It's just that you're gonna listen to the negative. I mean, the good. You're gonna have to listen to so that they can listen to either. How you maintain, you know, your sanity. I honestly, and when the world started thinking I was crazy, crushed my spirit for a long time. And I started realizing. I read books. I read a book called "The Way of the Superior Man." That the world, society, like the public, is kind of like a woman. It's like being in a relationship with a woman. And the woman will always test you, you know, and do things to make sure you really love her. And tests never stop. You always have to prove. And if it's ever one situation where you do the wrong thing, your woman is like, "See, you don't really love me," and I was just testing you. So I've done a lot of things to make the world kind of not trust me, but I'm showing them like it wasn't on purpose. You know, one of the reasons was just not having an understanding of what I've done to get now that I'm being able to process more world, more trust with the world, and it matters to me. If it didn't matter, I'll be. If I said it didn't matter, I'll be lying. I want people to at least know, look, this is what I'm saying I'm doing, and this is what I'm showing, and then you could judge me accordingly. You know? Because I do
Yeah.
want to represent something bigger than me.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, well, as long
Did
as
that
you
answer?
know how to
Yeah.
deal with the stardom and knowing the power behind it and how to use it and how to process the recognition and how you know just how to deal with it. It's a learning process. I don't think nobody knows how to deal with it right away. You know what I'm saying? Because some of your life belongs to you, and although you have to share it with the rest of the world, you have. I think it's the artist's prerogative to say, "Hey, this is a part of my life that I don't want to share," and you have that right. You know what I'm saying? So you have to relieve it to speculations, but at the end of the day, either you okay with the speculations or you want to clear them up. But nevertheless, it's your story, your life, your narrative. You need to always control that, and I think that it's important that it's the artist or the famous person prerogative to share what they're wanting to share. And so how much we pry or what have you, it's their right to do just that, whether we agree with it or not. So I just continue to encourage you on your journey of dealing with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think nobody really ever gets a handle on it. But it's great that you're honest about it and the challenges you have with it. But I'm sure you'll figure it out. You work with a lot of great people. What was it like working with some of the greatest people you work, Karaoke and Chris? Like, what was that like creating that magic, or what we call a hit song, or just songs that we love, the soundtracks to our lives? Like, what was it like in that creative process working with great people and yourself, of course, adding to that greatness?
It's so unrealistic. It seems like, and it just shows you that hard work really pays off. It was those nights where you just really believed in yourself, and you didn't know why people doubted you, and you have that moment where you're sitting in the studio and Tyrese, you're doing a song with Tyrese, or you're sitting and dreaming, giving you advice about how to sell more songs. You're doing a song for Rihanna. That,
Yeah,
you have to take time and really sit back and go through the bars, sit with the bars. You have to sit back and see what you was really learning in the moments. Like I had a lot of moments I forgot about with Nick Custer. And when I got the chance to sit back after his passing, I remembered when he called me into the office and he said, "Look, K man, a lot of dudes in these rooms I be in, they want to see you fail and they want to laugh at it. But I don't think it's funny and I don't want to see you fail. They know you're gonna succeed with or without them, but they rather just see you gonna figure it out. I want to see you figure it out." And that's something I took with me. He's like, don't give them stuff to laugh at you about. Don't give them stuff to write more rumors about. Don't give them that. So shout
yeah.
out to Nipsey.
Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome. Like that people don't understand how much culture we have here in LA. Like Nip, and I like the fact that Nip was so accessible. Like he stayed, right there. He was accessible. He was in the shop or whatever. That type of greatness is around where it really helped give an impartation to change people's lives. And so, who was someone else that really gave you great advice in the industry besides Nipsey? Who gave you some good advice you still hold on to?
Who else gave me some good? Brandy told me my life ends. Brandy came and talked to me in a point in my life I was losing it. I wasn't into the mental health. I didn't want to hear that. I think she even tried to say, Kevin, I think you have a personality. Conversation over. Because I don't.
Yeah.
But just her ability to see that people were laughing at me because I'm sitting out in downtown, I'm singing to the homeless, I'm doing stuff like that. And there's people making negative comments about it. And for some reason, she was able to relate to that. You're trying to be a good spirit and people have mean, nasty stuff to say about it. She's just like, I see your spirit. I want to pour. And I
Wow.
thanked her for that because she was always somebody I really looked up.
No, she's
Even as
amazing. No.
I remember being 10 years old, not liking how I looked because all the like people would talk about me about being dark and having big lips. They call me Bubba Gump from
Mm-hmm.
Forrest Gump was a popular movie at the time.
Mm.
So I hated being black. I hated my lips, my eyes, hated everything about me. And I just remember watching her video and she had dark skinned dudes in the video and I used to pretend like she was saying she was saying best friend and all that. It was really a moment for me.
Yeah.
Always be your best friend. So then when she's reaching out in times where I want to kill myself
Mm.
because society lied on me and said I'm beating a woman I never beat
Mm.
and justifying me not seeing my kid because they believe I'm a woman beater. She came in that time. And I
Mm.
was able to heal. That was 20, I want to say 2017.
Yeah.
Something.
No, she's an amazing artist. I met her. I interviewed her. She's an amazing spirit, amazing artist, beautiful, just natural beauty, and it's just amazing. And that's what this show is about. And thank you guys for tuning in for another interview with Hollywood Now, where we just talk one on one with Hollywood star power, insights, and influencers. We have a wonderful new guest today. Kevin McCall is here with us today, sharing his life with us. And just please comment, share, like, subscribe if you have not already. Getting some great information and just getting a little bit more to know who Kevin McCall really is, the producer, the artist, the songwriter, just really his contribution in the industry, you know, as young as you are, it's phenomenal. And I'm just glad that you're here with us on this platform because, like you said, the media sometimes it's not nice. That's why I know I'm very conscious about what I want to put out and what I want to be a part of because it's so important. And in regards to Black media and Black press, we're demonized. And it's unfortunate, even with a lot of Black artists that do not want to do Black press, in addition to mainstream locking us out as well. But it's important that we have integrity to media that brings the platform to everyone. I think everyone has a right to share, like I say, that their platform, and also have the prerogative to share with the public what they choose to share, you know, and that nobody is perfect, and that we all are figuring it out. And even if you have the best upbringing possible, things still can happen. That's life, you know. And
And I
so,
always love Dunk of the Day and stuff like that. People might
yeah,
call it wrong. It's
Charlamagne,
like
Dunkin' of
love,
the day.
it's tough love. You don't want them clowning you. Don't give them stuff to work with.
Don't give them stuff to work with. But you know, I think we all love a good triumphant story, a good perseverance story, a good underdog story, and it's really all about how you bounce back. That's why I'm so excited that you release new music and that you back out there because you know we all have those hiccups or whatever, but it's how you come back. It's how you persevere. You know what I'm saying? And so we just know that that's what we're waiting on. I think the world is ready to hear. I think everybody been in their lab cooking up under this COVID, but I'm telling you, I know once things get back up and going, the music that's gonna be put out, boy, I'm trying to tell you, I know it's gonna be off the chain. I know it
I
is.
felt when I'm deuces.
Yeah,
I was going through so much. I'm living at my grandma's house.
yeah.
My mom at the time, she left me, and her father was like, "You're never gonna make it." I had a friend that was in the Temptations, and he's broke. Be like that. You're never gonna make it. I'm like, man, so it's always that I have to prove people wrong.
Yeah,
That thing
yeah,
that instilled in me when I'm not gonna start you to the second half of the game. You gotta
yeah,
do.
yeah. And still end up getting the same yards as people who've been in the game the whole time. So that's what it is. You have a small amount of time to make a great impact, and you like, oh, I could do it in 60 seconds, you know. And that's where that greatness come from. Whenever I'm doing anything as far as entertainment oriented, and I'm at some I can't even describe some of the events that I attend. And I had to think of a word. I'm like, what is the word? If I could put it into words, this is so out of body, so surreal. I say greatness. I was surrounded by so much greatness and people who just all odds against them, but they still managed to get it done. And that's what it felt like. You know, that was like, oh man, I'm around Sidney Poitier, all the people in one room, like, oh my God, this is crazy, you know? And it was his greatness. That's what's in you, and that's what you have to continue to move forward in. And all that adversity, that's what it squeezes out, that greatness that's inside of you, you know? And so,
That's
but yeah, so what is some of the misconceptions that you want to clear up as we conclude? Like, what would you want the audience to know that they might not know that we haven't covered? And what are some of the misconceptions?
I'm not good. I'm not violent. I mean, I'm really just a big kid. And I'm so lucky. I'm nice. Another that what's the word? It's such a weird word. I don't even know the word. What's it when you don't want your kid no more? A bet. What's the word when you say I don't want my kid no more?
Not abandonment. What you don't want to know more? Which I mean, I mean a court term for it.
Like disown.
This song,
They
this
said
song,
I
this
disown
song,
my
this
child,
song.
which is not true. And to clarify, because some people have to even bring up the picture. This picture of me going on a little rant, a little stream of consciousness, as I call it. A lot of times when Kanye gets to rant,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
just a stream of consciousness, and you gotta, if you on a level enough to really pick through it, you can. But he say stuff crazy. But anyway, where was I at? I got
The
lost.
misconceptions. You want to clear up any misconceptions? You mentioned one about yeah.
Just that I own my daughter because what I was saying in the text, Wendy Williams. She said, "You can have her. I don't want to deal with her." Yada yada yada. A lot of people, men and women, do this. Men and women. And when a man do it, that's worse. But what they do is they take a child if you leave them, and it's called parental, and they'll try to stop you from seeing the child unless you do what they want.
Yeah.
Now, that's what happened in my case. So I was just saying, I'm not. If I don't play into it, then you won't really have a hand to play. Oh,
Yeah.
I was saying, but they flipped it and said, like I was saying, oh, I don't want to fight. Da, da, da. And if that was the case, I wouldn't end up going to court for it. I wouldn't be talking about it right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
For them to say that, I feel like it's wrong for people to put that. And you might tell her that as a child. He disowned me.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be doing the devil's work because I just told you I did it. So
Yeah.
it hurt it.
Yeah, I think love covers a multitude. I think that one thing about dealing with children, they very smart. They're little people, and I think they sense genuineness, more than we do. And I think the only thing you can do is what comes from the heart reaches the heart, and that you can just be true, and you can be genuine, and you can love for real. And that's one of the things that never goes away. Like when you talk about your childhood with your father and what he imparted in you and your mom, you remember the good. You know what I'm saying? Take the meat and leave the bones. You remember that good that stuck with you. And that what's matter. That transcends everything else. Because you will make someone who pretend to be the truth a liar with that. Because it's like, well, you saying all these bad things, but all I ever experienced was good. You know what I'm saying? So we only overcome evil with good. So if you continue to be true blue and just love for real, because that's your blood and that's just what it is, and that's going to transcend everything else. So we really know and hope that it's all going to work out. And although we hear a lot of the salacious gossips, that we all going through what we going through. Cause look at Wendy Williams, for example. She, that's what she do. She's doing her job. But when her life came apart, so it happens to everybody, and we don't
Sure.
wish nothing bad on nobody. I'm just saying that's life. It's going to happen. It's sometimes you cannot prevent it, you can't escape it. But I'm saying is that it happens to everybody. So for you to take it personal, it's like, why? If you not, it's unescapable. You can't get around it. It's life. If you're living life, it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So don't let it affect you so much that it changes or alters the core of who you are. You know what I'm saying? You got to be true to who you are, and everything's going to come full circle. So we thank you for sharing that, and thank you for clearing that up. And again, you guys are watching Hollywood Now, one-on-one interviews with Hollywood star power and insights and influencers. We have a wonderful guest, Kevin McCall, producer, writer, just greatness right here. And he just come to share a part of his life, come to share his truth. He controlled the narrative. He told you what it was. And we're going to back him up. We're going to support him here on King Solomon Entertainment. That's what we do. And anything else in closing, as we close, we thank you so much for doing this platform. If you have not subscribed, share, comment, please do that at this time. Share this video as we continue to bring you more great interviews with wonderful, great star power. Kevin, please end it, whatever you want to say, and give them your social media, how they can help. And please.
It was just an honor.
Thank you.
Interview. A huge weight off my shoulders because I've always, the communication is what's most important for me. Not only being an artist, but being an influencer. If you call me that, I have to accept that. So that y'all care what I have to say, what I do. I thank y'all because y'all give me purpose.
That's
And
it.
purpose here to be a servant, a king. And so I got some. Another misconception people have is that my mother get along. And my mother are best friends.
Mm.
We went on Ayana Fix My Life.
Yeah.
Then reality TV works. So a lot of that stuff scripted and didn't really represent how we really get.
Gotcha.
Me and my mom are tight. I'm tighter with my dad. She was having a bad living situation because my dad left her and married and started a new family and stuff. So my mom was left to figure it out. And her being a resilient woman, she stuck in there by my side.
That's it.
And I was able to help her get out of the house.
See, that's it.
So getting in the house, and that's good news.
Yeah, when your path is being the matriarch or the patriarch of the family, being the pillar of the family, the saying as much is given, much is required, that is just expected. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, how I deal with it in my own family, I never make it about the relationships with my family members. I make it about God because that was a truth that was bestowed on me by God. So I always work it out with Him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like whenever it's directed towards me, I always direct it back towards Him. It's like you give me the wisdom to how to deal with this because nobody gonna tell me what to do, how to do, when to do it, except for me. So it's like, you know, it's one thing to be, because to me, I feel like my position is a non-giver could never tell a giver nothing. You know what I'm saying? If I'm giving, you can't tell me when, where, how. Excuse me?
You're
Like,
not
you
giving.
know, yeah, I just don't understand that concept. But if that's what the God wants us to do, because that's how your blessing comes, then give me the wisdom to know how to navigate through that. But at the end of the day, that's what He done. Because other than that, me dealing one-on-one with someone is saying the narrative as you could be giving more than what you already is when I'm giving it a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I needed help with that part. You know what I'm saying? So He helped me with that part. We good. We move forward. And so that's what it's about. Mend the relationships, man. And that's your strength. And so every relationship that's broken, He's gonna help you to mend it. You're gonna move forward, and hey, everything gonna be great. You know, that's what it's about. Building relationships, making them stronger, and hey, the ones that's worth keeping, keep them. The ones that's not, hey, you know, you'll be okay. You'll make up for them. So thank you again, brother. Wonderful interview. Great talking with you. We expect nothing but more great music from you and great artistry as you continue to release it and give it to us. And it's a gospel project. I see you do a gospel too all the time. Is there a gospel song coming up in there somewhere?
I'm starting a gospel choir.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
it's a street choir, and y'all, I want you to come to the bar. We're gonna sing songs that y'all know, and
That's it. That's it.
represent something big. So,
That's it. Thank you so much, guys. Again, subscribe, share this comment, share this video. Kevin McCall, thank you so much, brother. Have a wonderful rest of your day, brother. See you next time. And sure, come back anytime you want to, brother. And just continue to do what you do. Thank you so much for your contributions. Talk to you soon, okay? All right.
like
Hollywood now, y'all. King Solomon. All right.
kingdom music and
That's it. Kingdom music.